What's up, guys? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, February 5th, 2019. I'm Tim Geddes, joined by Kind of Funny's sweet baby boy, Barrett Courtney.
What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is his first Kind of Funny podcast appearance, which is a very exciting moment for me.
It is.
A surprise moment for you and for everyone at home, because today it was supposed to be me and one Snowbike Mike.
I know.
Oh God, I missed him.
But there's been crazy storms going on in California, and we're not used to this shit. We don't know what the hell's going on.
Dude, climate change.
So he got snowed in up in Tahoe. So we're gonna have to rain check, quite literally, his journey down to San Francisco. Well, it was raining here too.
It's true.
It's raining here. But let's snow check 2019. But Snowbike Mike did send us a video. I have not watched it yet, but we're gonna play it here to see what he has to let the people know.
Is going on, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, February 5th, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Snowbike Mike, and I am joined by Forbes 30 Under 30, the man with the second best baby blues in San Francisco, and of course, the master of hype himself, Tim Geddes. What is good, Tim? How you doing on this beautiful Tuesday morning? Oh, that's great, Tim. Thank you so much for inviting me back. It's great to be here in sunny San Francisco. But ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily each and every weekday on a variety of platforms. We run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show at patreon.com/kindafunnygames at the bronze level or above to get your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names, and everything else under the video game sun read on air. Silver members and above can get the ad-free versions of the show once we're done recording. If you have no bucks to toss, no problem at all. Tune in to twitch.tv/kindafunnygames to watch us record the show live. And if you're watching live, you have a special job to do. Go to kindafunny.com/you'rewrong to help us set the record straight with anything we screw up for everyone watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. Some housekeeping news for you. We have been stuck in the car for 6+ hours on our trek to beautiful San Francisco. The blizzard of 2019 up here in Tahoe has trapped us in the mountain base, and we have yet to even try to conquer the summit, folks. This show is brought to you by food and water. We have none, and I need some to survive this long trek. But we'll get into that later on. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. We have one item on the Roper Report.
Baker's dozen.
We are currently stuck in Lake Tahoe, and we're probably not going to make it down for Kinda Funny Games Daily, so please enjoy the show with Tim and Barrett. Love your best friends. Is going on.
You gotta love him.
Oh my God.
You gotta love him. Although I will say, for a man that has Snowbike in his name, is the snow really gonna stop you?
Come on.
Clearly it is.
Should have just walked down at this point, you know.
No, we love you, Snowbike Mike. We cannot wait to have you back on the show. But for now, another opportunity is gained from an opportunity lost. Barrett Courtney, host of the show for his first time. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, what's up?
Wow, Mike kind of did my job for me, which is fantastic.
He
but
did it really well, too.
the housekeeping I gotta add is we're looking for up-and-coming Kind of Funny best friends, just like Snowbike Mike, who are content creators. Submit your picks at kindafunny.com/up-and-comer for a chance at working with us for an entire week, being on the shows, having a great time. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Trevor Starkey, David Meintel, Panzer, and Jeremy Goldman. Today, we're brought to you by Brooklinen and Headspace, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We had 6 news stories today.
Baker's dozen.
Let's start with a little Apex Legends. How's that make you feel?
It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Apex Legends, this comes from IGN. Respawn Entertainment's free-to-play Battle Royale game went live yesterday and had over 1 million unique players within 8 hours of launch.
Damn.
The studio's CEO, Vince Zampella, tweeted the news early Tuesday morning, saying that he was overwhelmed and added in, "Thank you so much for showing up and being part of this with Respawn. You are amazing." Apex Legends reached a peak of almost 500,000 viewers on Twitch and is sitting at around 200,000 at the time of writing.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Congrats to Respawn, that team, for coming out with something like kind of like almost shadow dropping. Like it was kind of leaking.
Here's my thing.
Yeah.
I truly believe that this is the perfect launch for this type of game. It doesn't work for every type of game, but when it comes to these free-to-play Twitch-based, like not just shooters, Twitch-based games, they know that the majority of their audience is going to come from people. Or the majority of their earned organic marketing is going to come from people watching people play on Twitch.
And I was reading somewhere, I forget if this was an actual dev or something, but they were talking about how like they didn't want to go through the whole like let's announce this and like launch 6 months later, because that it would feel like, I don't know, we need to like sell people on this by like having them play it, by having people come and try it out before we actually launch it and all that stuff. And it was like a really smart move on their end to do
absolutely. That. And going back to what you're saying about the shadow drop, I feel like this is the closest thing a video game could have to a shadow drop possible, because you know, when it comes to like just music albums and stuff, those can just come out. There's so many more moving pieces with video games.
Right.
I think all the leaks were entirely planned. They would have not done that influencer play day last week if they didn't plan for it to get out there. Like it wasn't.
I mean,
traditional press.
Fran was saying there's NDAs and stuff that people were supposed to stick to.
You know what I mean? Fran is a professional. He was with a lot of people that aren't as professional as him, and that's not necessarily against them. That's not the world they live in. It's not a surprise to me that we saw tweets go up from a majority of people that were there on the influencer side, not on the traditional press side. Again, kind of funny, falls in a weird place.
It was like Shroud and like a couple of them.
They're all like, oh, got to play this thing. It's real. It's coming tomorrow. And I don't think it was a coincidence. They all tweeted at the same time, very similarly worded things. You know, I think different people had different embargoes for what they were allowed to say.
That makes sense.
And I think that the reason for that would be that, going off what you were just saying about not wanting to have the traditional kind of press cycle for this game, that's kind of also getting rid of traditional press entirely.
Right.
They want the influencers talking about this.
They want the headlines.
They want the headlines. They want the numbers, and they got the numbers.
Exactly.
I'm going to read another story real quick from Eurogamer so that we can kind of wrap all this together.
But really quick, before you get to that, I have impressions on the game from one Nitro Rifle / Andy Cortez. I texted him impressions on Apex Legends, and he just sent me this. It's great. They're doing a lot of really creative things with it. And that's all. That's all he gave me.
Thanks for that, Andy. Thanks for that. Quality. #1 games journalist, Andy Cortez.
Yes.
So this comes from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer. She did an interview with a bunch of people over at Respawn, and some interesting tidbits of information came out.
Right.
Lead producer Drew McCoy told me that while Respawn would love to bring Apex Legends to mobile and Switch, there's nothing they currently talk about. So you'll have to dock that handheld for now. Which makes sense, especially given the visual fidelity of this game.
Right.
It looks very high quality compared to something like Fortnite that is obviously a lot more scalable.
It's a little more of like closer on to the end of like Call of Duty.
Black Ops 4, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And although crossplay is unavailable at launch, Respawn told Eurogamer it plans to allow players to play with their friends on other platforms. Cross progress and cross purchases, however, will never be possible in Apex Legends due to the way systems were set up early on, which can't be reconciled after the fact. In other words, as crossplay only recently became a possibility, it'll never be fully integrated into Apex Legends.
That's a bummer.
It is a bummer. It's cool that they're getting ahead of it, and I'm explaining like
they're being
what the
upfront,
situation
like, hey,
is.
like just because like some early development decisions, like we just couldn't do it. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I think people will understand.
Yeah,
so.
It is unfortunate though, because I feel like when it comes to crossplay, the thing that would be most valuable to the most gamers is cross progression and cross save. You know, cross play is like a cool nifty thing, but I really feel like it's the progression that helps people.
Progression and saves though are still very rare, and that's still like something that people are still trying to figure out. So the fact that they couldn't do it, I don't think it's like that big of a huge surprise or disappointment. It's still something that I think developers and publishers are trying to figure out. So
yeah, and then moving on from there. Then this is like a perfectly, like, I just feel like they're handling the reaction to this so well crafted. Our desire is to be completely open and transparent with our player base, and part of that expands to how we talk about problems, and we understand this game is going to have a skeptical audience. There are some people who think there are too many Battle Royale games, or it's a fad. The world thinks we're making Titanfall 3, and we're not. This is what we're making. To try and convince a skeptical audience for months with trailers and hands-on articles, we're just like, let the game speak for itself. It's the most powerful antidote to potential problems. We're doing a free-to-play game with essentially loot boxes after we were bought by EA, and it's not Titanfall 3. It's the perfect recipe for a marketing plan to go awry. So why have that? Let's just ship the game and let players play.
When I saw this yesterday when I was reading about it, it made me think of the Eric Andre meme where he shoots Hannibal Buress, but this time it's EA shooting Titanfall and then turns around and says, "Why would the gamers do this?" it like this whole thing has like a weird taste in my mouth because I was a huge fan of Titanfall 2, and like EA like accidentally published like one of the greatest like shooters of our of this current like console generation, and they definitely put it in between Call of Duty and Battlefield that year, not giving it like any air to breathe. They killed it, and they didn't give that IP like really any chance, and it kind of bums me out. So I think I understand like why EA is doing this though, of like hey, like we want you guys to shift to if this was EA's decision, not Respawn's, of like we want you to shift to this and make it free to play and all this stuff, especially because, you know, Battlefield 5's Battle Royale mode, I think it's delayed, is still not out, and it's also still behind of you have to actually buy Battlefield 5. I could be wrong about that. You can send
that
it
makes
into
sense, though.
You're wrong. So it makes sense that EA was like, hey, if this is something that you guys are already looking into, let's do this. Let's, you know, scrap Titanfall 3 and make it free to play. So EA has a free to play Battle Royale.
What's really interesting, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around this, but I've been hearing rumblings, and who knows, it's all just hearsay.
Rumbly tumblies.
But I've been hearing rumblings that the EA Respawn situation is a lot different than people expect, and that Respawn actually was the one pushing for the Titanfall 2 release date that it got.
Interesting.
Really?
And EA was suggesting against it. That's just stuff that I've heard people talking about behind the scenes. But
Yeah, definitely with that game. It should have, like, that game would have thrived like January, February the next year. Right?
Absolutely. And but what's interesting is what I'm saying here, what I'm hearing is also this situation as well. Where I'm hearing that like they knew Anthem's coming out, whatever. It's not EA pushing like you should do this. It's Respawn being like, we want to get this game out now. They must have had some whatever reason it was, but. Philip writes in and says, to be honest, I'm a little disappointed Respawn is not currently making Titanfall 3, mostly because I loved the campaign of Titanfall 2. I cannot fault them for making a strictly multiplayer game. I'm wondering if Star Wars Fallen Order will even have multiplayer at all, or if Respawn's focus for that game is just single player and the entirety of the multiplayer team is focused on Apex Legends.
That... I don't want to pretend I know like what the inner workings are of Respawn, if they have several different teams and all that stuff, but like I wouldn't be surprised if the Star Wars game has some sort of multiplayer thing, just because it's EA, it's Respawn, they're used to doing something like that. But it would also be cool if they were trying to have like two different teams, one just focus on multiplayer and one just focus on a single player kind of experience.
I also don't know exactly how their teams break down, but when you look at a game like Titanfall 2, I think it's a perfect example of where video games are now, where, and you look at like IGN, right? They've started reviewing multiplayer separately from single player and all this stuff. And like, that's a weird thing, but that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's at the end of the day going to be a benefit to gamers when different teams are focused on different elements. And if they're different experiences altogether. Like Titanfall 1 being just a multiplayer game was very disappointing to a lot of people because they wanted single player, right?
And it was
but then
like
Titanfall 2 came out and the single player was amazing and it was critically acclaimed, didn't sell well. And
that was
and the multiplayer fizzled out. Right?
And like not selling well is because of a multitude of different reasons.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So,
so when you look at this right now, where we're at with Apex Legends, I feel like they're putting it out to be as successful as a Titanfall multiplayer game can possibly be in 2019 when you're going up against Black Ops 4 and Fortnite and themselves with Anthem and games as a service. I think they made a lot of really smart calls here. What is most interesting to me is there's no Titans. And I wonder if they'll come later. Or
I was reading somewhere else, I forgot like who was saying this or if this was an actual dev or something, but like some of the mechanics from Titanfall of like the wall running and stuff, they were saying that like it didn't feel good for this game, it didn't feel balanced and stuff. So I'm wondering if it's the same for the Titans, of like including them into this style of game in theory could have like been really cool like on paper, but maybe it was something that they tried out and realized like this just doesn't work for this kind of game. And I'm sure like because they're being so open and stuff, I'm sure that they'll talk about Titans at some point, whether or not they're adding them or not adding them and telling us why. Who knows?
No Titanfall 3 doesn't surprise me. On top of that, it's disappointing, you know, because everybody loved Titanfall 2's campaign so much.
At least the people who bought it.
Yes. But I do, again, want to give a shout out to Respawn for being this transparent and getting ahead of it and not like making the will they, won't they. It's like, they're like, no, everyone thinks we're working on it. We're not. Like,
exactly.
Those type of statements are super powerful. And we've seen it recently with Nintendo coming out talking about Metroid Prime and Mario Kart Tour and stuff. It's like, I want to see more of this from the industry as a whole. And the fact that Respawn is under EA, this is another example of Respawn being a very different company than its parent company. Yeah. You know?
So shout out to Respawn.
Yeah, and good luck to them. Also, on paper, we'll see how successful this is long term. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like if a Battle Royale game can thrive for 3 months, 4 months at a time,
you got legs.
It's a success because they'll have that, and then something else will happen, and then they'll add a new season of content, and people will come back. You know, we've seen that.
And this is definitely
this just needs to make it through the what was the Blazinski game? The
I know
Radical Heights.
Yeah,
it just needs to push through that Radical Heights. Like, is this just a streaming moment of time? You know, and I think that this game is actively trying to do something different than we've seen so far with Battle Royale, adding the kind of hero classes,
hero shooters,
and making it. It's 3 people. You're in a squad. They're making some very decisive decisions that are making this a different experience, and I think that will allow this game to thrive in a different space.
And it's specific decisions that don't overcomplicate things, right? Like, from what I understood of Radical Heights, like, I never played it, but it was like all of these kind of like weird decisions, and like the thing with Apex is that it's like kind of 2 major decisions for this version of Battle Royale, and it's simple enough. People get like, oh, it's kind of like Overwatch type heroes, and it's 3v3, and there you go. That's it. Those are the only 2 things that we're like making our own, and we're making it just different enough to just have people have fun with.
Yeah.
So I respect it.
Final question about this. Gilly Bruins writes in, says, what's up, guys? My question regards the recently released Apex Legends. With all the fear that the games as a service market is soon to be overcrowded, does it strike either of you as odd that EA will have released 2 Battle Royale games within a month of each other? Battlefield 5's Battle Royale mode is said to be launching in March, assuming they deliver on target. Now, Battlefield 5 didn't do particularly well and might not pose a threat, but when looking back at how EA did no favor to Titanfall 2 upon release, launching it a week after Battlefield 1, why does it seem like EA can't stop cannibalizing itself with regards to these 2 properties? Thanks for all that both of you do. Gilly Brums.
I think this is a different situation than like releasing Titanfall 2 against Battlefield 5 or Battlefield whatever came out that year in Call of Duty, because, you know, like Battlefield is a known entity, but since 5 didn't do well, and since from the early rumblings of when it got delayed of that Battle Royale being in a lot of trouble and possibly not being that good, I think it was a smarter decision for them to be like I was saying earlier, of like we don't know about this Battlefield Battle Royale. Let's come out with this, make it free to play, and have it accessible to everybody instead of 5 being behind like a $60 paywall. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of it's all over the place, because I look at it and I think that like Battlefield 5 did not sell well. Having said that, it still sold extremely well compared to other games.
It's like when Call of Duty doesn't do well.
It didn't sell well compared to Battlefield's games, right?
Exactly.
So okay, like there's that understanding. But on top of that, I feel like the Battlefield was always up against Call of Duty, and with Call of Duty with Blackout mode being a success, you know, people like it. It's a quality version, quality take on Battle Royale. And with Battlefield's not being up to par and like having all these issues, I don't think that it's necessarily competing with things like Apex. I keep on saying Apex Predator, Randy Orton, the Apex Legends, because Apex Legends is free to play and Battlefield's not. Yeah, it's kind of it's
and like I think this is all like, you know, like people are still playing Blackout. I don't see a lot of people still talking about it like in a major way, like on social media and stuff. But the fact that like EA has their own free-to-play version of Battle Royale, it'll be interesting to see, because it's a little more like first-person shooter type stuff, closer to Blackout than Fortnite. It'll be interesting to see how Blackout does from here on out, now that this is out.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, again, Titanfall, not the biggest IP, but I do feel like there's a critical advantage that it has where...
It also doesn't have Titanfall in the name as well, right?
Which is weird. I mean, I guess there's no Titans, so that makes sense. But like Apex Legends is just, I don't love the name. Like, I
No.
feel like it's kind of a misstep, but I don't know what they would have called it. Because again, Titanfall doesn't have that thing. The people that know. So I guess that's all that really matters. But I don't know. I feel like we're going to learn a lot more in the coming months about Respawn versus EA and like how they differ and who's making the calls based on those products, because Respawn makes quality products. Right? And if they can prove that this works, it's like I feel like there's a lot of them and less of EA involved in the decisions of let's get this out now.
Right.
So we'll see.
I'm so excited for the Star Wars game.
Me too.
And see
Me
like
too.
what that looks like.
And I hope it's single player. I hope it's just the single player game
Even
that,
if
that
it's
we're expecting.
like, even if it's not, even if they do have a multiplayer take on it, like I'd be interested to see what they do with that, because I'm not a huge multiplayer guy, but I still mess around with the Titanfall 2 multiplayer just because of how great it was. So
Yeah,
Shout out to
we'll see,
Respawn.
man. Because I know we're never going to get the Amy Hennig Uncharted Star Wars game,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that we get the Respawn Modern Force Unleashed game.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
dude.
Like,
That would be so fucking cool.
all right, so moving on from Respawn, a whole bunch of sales numbers dropped, a lot of financial reports of various companies. A couple interesting tidbits. Let's start with Square sales. This comes from Twinfinite. Square Enix has reported that Kingdom Hearts 3 has officially shipped over 5 million units globally, making it the fastest selling game in the history of Kingdom Hearts.
Damn.
The number includes both physical and digital copies across all platforms since its launch on January 29th, 6 days ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and it just shows the sheer fan base of Kingdom Hearts, where
yeah.
even after all these years, people still come out in
And
droves.
like the sheer fan base, and also just like the curiosity of outsiders as well, right? Like I've been talking to you for the last couple of weeks of like, is this, and even like Dornbush the last year about like, can I just jump into this one? And I feel like there's a lot of people who are like I want to check this out just because it's cool Disney stuff. People have been talking about Kingdom Hearts for a while, so I think it's the fan base, and also just like a new group, a new wave of people just coming in.
and the addition of Xbox One.
That's true.
This is
Yeah.
the first time that the franchise is available on Microsoft's platform. So I do feel like there's a lot of different things set up for this game to be a success sales wise.
Yeah.
But this is very impressive. Like to already like have that record, and then just I don't know. It's very cool. Excited to see where it goes. It's interesting that there's no DLC plans for the game.
Has there ever been DLC for Kingdom Hearts games though?
No, but there's Kingdom Hearts game hasn't come out in a world with DLC.
That's true. That's true.
Back in
there's, like, some-
2005, when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out on the PS2, there was
well,
no
to be
DLC.
fair, there's been like Kingdom Hearts games since then, but not like big titles.
The closest thing Kingdom Hearts has ever had to DLC is the final mixes, which are like
Right.
remix versions of the game with a lot of added content
Gotcha.
that they bring out eventually, and it's kind of a Kingdom Hearts tradition. They do that. I do
3
expect
years, Kingdom Hearts 3.5 final mix.
it won't be 3.5, but Kingdom Hearts 3 final mix, I'd bet
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
But from what we hear, there's no DLC for the game coming out, and that
I
seems
respect
like
it. You just want more.
I definitely want more, and I feel like I need more with where I'm at right now. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. But okay, that's the good news for Square. Let's get to the bad news. If we only look at the latest quarter, sales increased year on year, but income decreased considerably. Square Enix explained in the accompanying press release that those higher sales were due to recent launches of console games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Just Cause 4, and Octopath Traveler, but those failed to cause an equivalent increase in profits due to greater amortization of development costs for major new titles and increased advertising expenses. We also learned that many people
for smart devices and browsers launched in the.
that sentence doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But we also learned that many people for smart devices and browsers launched in the previous fiscal year performed below expectations and failed to generate additional revenue on top of that brought in by established games. In order to address the issue related to mobile games, Square Enix intends to focus on select titles and games based on existing IPs. On top of that, they aim to rebuild the development and operation organizations and strive to create new hit titles.
All right, Square.
It's so interesting and crazy to see where Square is at right now compared to Capcom. I'm gonna jump ahead, read some Capcom, and we'll bounce back and forth because I think there's an interesting comparison there. Capcom Q3 fiscal year 2018-2019 results, highest Q3 profit levels in Capcom history.
Hell yeah.
Megaman 11 performing strongly. Monster Hunter World sales now at 11 plus million units.
Doesn't surprise.
This quarter, Monster Hunter World, which caused a sensation in the market in the previous fiscal year, continued to drive results after surpassing 10 million units shipped, a first for any single title in Capcom's history. Also, in the core digital contents business, in addition to titles such as Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection and Mega Man 11 performing well, high-margin catalog titles showed healthy sales growth. As a result, continuing from second quarter results, Capcom achieved the highest profit levels for the end of a third quarter in company history. In addition, Mega Man 11, for a bunch of consoles, reported strong sales, while sales of Onimusha which was released at the end of 2018, were also off to a good start. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection performed strongly, while Mega Man X Collection, Mega Man X Collection 2, and Mega Man X Collection 1 and 2 performed well thanks to a dedicated fan base and strong brand capabilities. In addition, high-margin catalog titles steadily increased sales and contributed to improving profitability.
Hell yeah, Mega Man X Legacy Collection.
Let's go, baby. So
I bought
here
that
we
only
have,
for X.
you need it. You need it. So here you have two completely different tales, right?
Yeah.
Of the same story. Two sides of the same coin, even when you look at this, where Square and Capcom, if you look at Capcom 4 years ago, they were in Squarespace.
Oh, yeah.
Squarespace.com. Build it beautiful. But when you look at Square, or when you look at Capcom then, it's like, you know, they were making missteps after misstep.
Right.
They were mistreating, to say they were mistreating Mega Man it's not even right.
Yeah.
Mega Man just wasn't even a factor.
They killed him.
They made a Marvel vs. Capcom game that Mega Man wasn't even in. Like, that's insane.
Was he not in?
Not in 3.
You're right.
It's
it was
fucking insane.
0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mega Man, they're like, we don't give a fuck about you. Resident Evil 6.
Yeah,
like those dark ages. And again, I understand that's more than 3 years
it's
ago.
so
but
weird that, but still, that was just like 5-6 years ago.
And that's the thing, Crapcom, whatever everyone called them, like it was in a very, very dark place. And they were kind of just, you know, putting out Monster Hunter after Monster Hunter on the portable systems,
right?
Which the people that played those enjoyed them. But that's kind of what was keeping them afloat, because a lot of their other franchises, Street Fighter 5, right? Yeah. Coming out and being bad.
Yeah.
Bare bones at launch, and then working its way over time to being a good game.
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, same story.
Embarrassing.
Right?
Yeah.
But really an embarrassing launch.
Yeah.
And for them to have all of that, and then in the last couple of years, Resident Evil 7, Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 2
remake,
right?
Yeah.
Mega Man 11 coming out, not being everyone's favorite game, but still being like getting thumbs up from the majority of Mega Man fans.
Right.
Them announcing the X Collection 1 and 2 and Mega Man Collection coming to Switch. Let's get everything on Switch. Street Fighter on Switch. This on Switch. They know that there's going to be money there. Yeah. It's like they're just making so many right calls.
Yeah, it was like there was at some point like a click with them. It was like, oh, let's respect our IPs. Exactly.
And then bringing Onimusha back, I'm like, oh, thank you. And to hear it's doing well, it's like, this is just all good news for all the jokes that we've had over the years of Dino Crisis and this and anything is possible now.
And then with Square, it's like they've got to have the click soon of like, let's respect our IPs. Let's not take forever to come out with a Final Fantasy game. Let's, you know, like give Tomb Raider like the kind of respect that that title deserves. Let's not just put out a Just Cause game just cause. Shit. Yeah, just cause. Yeah. Fuck. I know Kevin liked it, but you know what?
Dude, Square is so complicated and like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's break Square down into 3 different categories, even though you could definitely go, there's more within that, right?
Break it down for me.
Breaking it down, we got the Japanese side, we got the Western side, and then we got the mobile divisions, right? There's more, obviously, but like just breaking it into those, I feel like it's very clear what their mobile side is meant to do, which is for the past almost decade at this point, push out just a bunch of titles and see what sticks. Don't really commit to any of them, but just put them out there and go. And for a long time, that made them a lot of money. They ported a ton of their Final Fantasy games over, usually very poor ports, like Final Fantasy VI, one of the ugliest things I've ever fucking seen.
Oh, yeah.
And they kept doing that. But then for a while, with Square Enix Montreal, they were really trying to put out quality titles with the Go games. Hitman Go, Lara Croft Go, and Deus Ex Go.
Right.
Then seems like things went bad there and like they stopped doing that. And it's like there was a focus on a lot of the more like mobile gotcha type games.
Right.
And we're now seeing the repercussions of there being way too many of those. And those whales no longer exist there. So now you're investing a lot of money in these games that aren't making you money. Right. Which hurt when the big titles are making money, but not enough money to make you profitable. So then you look at the Japanese versus Western side. I feel like their Western divisions have kind of just been there, and no one really attributes Square to them, right? When you think Tomb Raider, when you think Just Cause, you don't think Square.
Exactly.
Right? You think about Crystal Dynamics. You think about
Eidos.
Yes, exactly, which are Square and have been for a very long time, but you just don't associate it the same way, right? And I feel like a lot of those games have been given the right love, but I feel like every once in a while there'll be business deals like with Tomb Raider that really kind of shoot it in the foot. Earlier we were talking about Titanfall and like how it was released and that killed it. When you look at Tomb Raider, every fucking time that game gets released, there's something that they're like, well, you're just sending that out to die. And it's clear as
I feel
day.
like the first one of the reboot was the only one that didn't have problems. Or
It
maybe
did though.
Oh, really?
It did because it was Microsoft exclusive.
The first one?
Yeah.
Huh.
For a long time.
Not what was not Rise of the Tomb Raider? Rise of the Tomb Raider was the one that was Xbox exclusive for about a year or whatever.
Wasn't the original one as well?
Just Shadow of the Tomb Raider? I don't think so.
Shadow was not. Shadow was on both.
Yeah, Shadow came out everywhere, but I'm pretty sure the original just like Tomb Raider game.
The reboot one, right?
Yeah.
2012, I want to say it was.
It's so long.
Hold on. I want to figure this out.
But time is a flat circle. Yeah, I just want to see Square like get that like click it in their head of like, hey, like let's try to scale back and like invest into like quality titles.
You're right. Tomb Raider was released on March 5th, 2013 for PS3 and 360.
Right. Yeah, it was Rise of the Tomb Raider that was on Xbox One for like a year.
Yeah.
And then it came over to PS4, and that's when they like released like the super special edition. There was like the VR like experience for Rise and all that stuff.
I forgot what it was. There was something that went up against it during that time when the first one came out. That it was like, oh, why are you guys releasing it now?
Was it? I want to say, what year was that? Was
2013, March 2013.
Oh, the first one. Ooh, I don't. Oh, was that Grand Theft Auto? Grand Theft 2013 was Grand Theft Auto, BioShock Infinite, and Last of Us.
Yeah.
So it could have been one of those three. Yeah. What a great year.
But yeah, no. Anyways, going on to it, Rise of Tomb Raider, the Microsoft stuff, I feel like really got in the way of that. But at least in terms of sales, but then they would have made money on the back end. But I feel like it's these business decisions being made that like get money up front, but then you're not getting money in the long term because of it. Man. And then you move to the Japanese side, and it's like, we don't need to beat a dead horse there. It's like, there's obvious issues with their big AAA games, and we've seen the changes already taking effect. Kingdom Hearts 3, it's selling super well, so even though it took forever, it's selling super well. But the same could have been said for Final Fantasy 15, right? It sold super well, took forever to develop. I'm sure that game cost $1 bazillion.
And shout out to them for supporting it as long as they did, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a shout out, honestly. Like, because
shout
to
out
me,
to the fans, you know, like, or shout out, like for like they did that for, I feel like, the hardcore fans.
I don't think they did. No? I think they did it to guarantee that they kept making money off of it because they invested so much that they had to, right?
All right.
And I think that is evident by that team kind of leaving to go do its own thing.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we'll see where that all ends up. Yeah. But with all of that, and then with Final Fantasy VII Remake, wherever the fuck it is in the ether and all that, I'm very interested to see where Square is going to go based on this news. Will they get out of the Capcom stage and like come back?
Yeah.
Because games like Octopath Traveler are proof that they still got it.
Yeah.
On the smaller scale.
Exactly.
Can they nail a big project in a timely fashion is yet to be seen on the Japanese side, right? And I think that it's extremely exciting that we haven't heard anything about Final Fantasy 16 yet. You know?
Yeah.
One day we're going to hear about the game. And can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine if Final Fantasy 16 is announced and then it comes out within 2 years?
That I don't think that's possible.
But can you imagine that?
I will believe it when I see it.
That would be awesome because like imagine a Square trying to like come back and have its highest Q3 profit levels in Square history to match Capcom.
Yeah.
And granted, we're talking about different numbers here, but imagine this. They come out, Final Fantasy 16, and fuck 2 years. Within 1 year.
Damn.
Within 1 year of
Dude,
announcing it,
ambitious.
the game comes out.
Yeah.
And guess what else comes out? Avengers. Crystal Dynamics, Avengers, right?
The Avengers game.
Then
Jesus.
Octopath Traveler, and it's like then all of a sudden it's like you start building steam there, and it's like we're seeing a Square that people can look at and be like, oh, and imagine a Kingdom Hearts Switch game coming out. Imagine, you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of shit that they can do to really kind of prove that they still got it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
The jury's still out. A couple more sales for you, little quick stuff here. Sega also not doing too well. Sega incurs $55 million extraordinary loss due to monetary declines in existing mobile games and competition intensifying. So same story as Square, but they didn't have any of those huge titles to make up for it. You know, God, man. What a weird place we're in, you know? Like, it is kind of sad that, you know, we've seen... I think last gen really we saw the end of the B tier A studios, right?
Yeah,
and it became
and that's
AAA
what, like, that
or
was
indie.
Sega's like kind of bread and butter, you know.
Well, no, I would say, you know what? I would even put Sega as AA. You know,
yeah.
I put Capcom as AA. Like, I put them in this weird place, but it's like Capcom has kind of stood up now and it's like, hey, I guess we're going back to the AAA side.
Yeah, exactly.
And Square's always kind of been there. But Sega now, it's like we're seeing this A category just get demolished. Or they're getting demoted. I don't know. We'll see how that all shakes out.
It's sad to see like one of the kind of like the OG companies like kind of fall. But
yeah,
sometime at some point, you just got to kill Sonic. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do it. Don't kill the Sonic.
Fucking kill Sonic.
And then the final sales thing, some good news to end on. Koei sales, Nioh sells over 2.5 million.
Shout out to Nioh.
This is a 2-year anniversary of the game. So, and then the last news story isn't so much a news story, it's just a thing for you to go check out places. Crash Team Racing, people got hands-on for it.
Ooh.
There's a whole bunch of impressions everywhere. You can go check them out on any of the major sites, as well as the Division 2. People got to play that. Greg Miller got to play it, but he's gone. So we'll have to wait till
Fran called him yesterday during the show.
Awesome. No,
we're not going to call him again.
No. But
We
all
don't
those
call
impressions,
people in Canada, okay, Kevin?
you can do that. And then a new Sekiro, is that how you use it?
Sekiro. Yeah.
Trailer's out. So you can
Shadows
check,
Die Twice.
you can check that out. Are you excited for that?
It seems like a more fast-paced Souls type of game, so I'm interested to check it out. The kind of like traversal, like weird hand thing he's got going on, where you can like scale up buildings and stuff. Seems really cool. It seems like one of those games where you have to like actually like get hands-on with to really feel like if you're going to be into it. So I still want to try to check that out. Division 2, I'm excited for. Crash Team Racing, hell fucking no.
I hate you. God, I fucking hate. I thought you were about to be a good person, but no.
I had to play. So one of the last things I did at IGN was do a a trailer comparison for Crash Team Racing, the new one, and then I had to go back to the original and play it to get all of these like captured scenes and whatnot. That game is so bad.
You're so wrong.
No, it's
legitimately.
Go back and play that game,
dude.
Tim.
I honestly play that game way more often than I should. It's amazing. It stands up with Mario Kart 8. I don't think it's
Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, dude, it's not as good as Mario Kart 8. I'm gonna be real, but it stands up with it. It's definitely top 3 kart racers of all time. Period.
No.
To this day, it's so good. Oh my god.
It's fine.
You just don't know how to drift, baby. Did you not watch Tokyo Drift 3?
I did.
I mean, Fast and Furious 3. Oh, man. I'm so excited for Crash Team Racing, but it's so fucking far away, Barrett. If I want to know what games are coming out today, where would I look?
You can go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Fuck you. You with your shitty opinions. Jesus Christ. Coming on my show, talking shit about Crash Team Racing. Get the fuck out of here. Out today, The Book of Unwritten Tales 2 on Switch, The Mage's Tale on PS4, Away Journey to the Unexpected on PS4. This is a game that we talked about on the Kinda Funny Games showcase, and it looks batshit insane in the best way.
Yeah.
One of my favorite trailers we had in there, so definitely check out Away Journey to the Unexpected. Access Denied on PS4 and PS Vita, it lives. Evil Land Legendary Collection, a Legendary Edition on PS4, Melbit's World on PS4, Spike Volleyball on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, The Path of Motus on Switch, Etrian Odyssey Nexus on 3DS, Kadath on PC, and oh, Jesus Christ.
Euclidean
Skies on PC.
Oh, wow.
That was good. Some new dates for you. Skybound confirmed that The Walking Dead's final season will, to the undoubted delight of traditionalists everywhere, be getting a physical release on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch that arrives alongside Episode 4, the final episode ever of The Walking Dead, on March 26th.
It's an end of an era.
End of an era. unlike the TV show that just got renewed today for season 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Warner Brothers announced Tuesday a Lego Marvel collection that will bundle together Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, and Lego Marvel's Avengers for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Players will also get access to previously released DLC for all 3 titles, including Black Panther and Marvel's Avengers Infinity War character and level packs for Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. The Lego Marvel collection is coming to PS4 and Xbox One on March 15th. All 3 of those games feature voice actors that you know. Me, Nick Scarpino, and Greg Miller.
Were you guys in Marvel Superheroes 1?
Yeah.
Huh. Didn't know that.
Greg Miller was the Tinker. No, I don't remember who he was, but he was someone.
I remember him being in Avengers.
He was
Hey,
Killian.
shouting me out.
What's his name? Killian. Oh yeah, Kevin's in it too. He was Killian in
Avengers.
Avengers. I don't remember who he was in 1, but he was somebody.
Gotcha.
And then in
that
2,
first game alone, just like it's so good.
yeah, they're all
one of the
fun,
coolest, like just traveling around New York City. In the first one, so cool. Flying around as Iron Man, dope.
And then finally, Drinkbox Studios and Leadman Games tag team to bring fans.
Fans of both games.
Man, these motherfuckers need to learn to write. You know what I mean? I know I need to learn to read, but they need to learn to write. Okay? Tag team up to bring fans both games in the Guacamelee series to physical, tangible reality in one compact package on the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, coming May 28th. The collection includes both critically acclaimed games, an exclusive 2-sided poster, a complete instruction manual, and download codes for 2 unforgettable soundtracks. Both versions can be pre-ordered starting today at your favorite, wherever the hell you want to go, for $39.99.
Hell yeah.
So there you go.
Guacamelee 1 and 2.
Deals of the day for you.
Fantastic.
Ubisoft publisher sale on United States PlayStation Plus. You got to add to cart for discounts. You can get Assassin's Creed Odyssey as low as $36.
Hell yeah. One of the best games of last year.
There you go.
Yeah.
Check it out. Pretty much every Ubisoft game is on sale.
Yeah.
So there's
I saw
crazy list.
Black Flag on there. That's one of the best Assassin's Creed games.
It's old.
You can go to Wario64's Twitter for more information on that, or just Ubisoft.com. Now it's time for Reader Mail. But first, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily is brought to you by Brooklinen. You spend a third of your life in sheets. It's about time for a bedding upgrade. Greg loves his Brooklinen sheets. So do I. They're so soft every day. One of my favorite things. Getting into that bed. You know what I mean? You guys hear it all the time. Sleep's one of my favorite things, and Brooklinen has helped so much with that. Brooklinen sheets are named the winner of the best online bedding category by Good Housekeeping. And if you don't trust Good Housekeeping, I don't trust your opinion. Founded in early 2014 by husband and wife Vicky and Rich Fulop, their mission was to make 5-star hotel quality sheets more affordable and easy to order. And let me tell you, Barrett, they were very easy to order.
Yeah?
Yeah, I go in there, so many different colors. Of course, I'm choosing some blue ones. Now my bed, it's blue. Dabba dee,
You gotta
dabba da.
have it match with your eyes, you know?
I need to. Sheets don't just feel great, but they look great too. Mix and match over 20 plus colors and patterns. My Brooklinen sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on. That's a fact. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer just for you guys. You can get $20 off and free shipping when you use promo code GAMES at Brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty. The only way to get $20 off and free shipping is to use promo code GAMES at Brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Promo code GAMES. Brooklinen. These really are the best sheets ever.
Nice.
What a great tagline. Headspace is next up. Headspace is your guide to health and happiness. In fact, just 10 days of Headspace has been proven to reduce stress and increase happiness. It will teach you the life-changing skills of meditation and mindfulness in just a few minutes a day. 3 weeks of Headspace reduced aggression and reactivity to negative feedback by 57%. 10 days increased happiness by 5%. Headspace has hundreds of meditation sessions on everything from stress to sleep. There are SOS exercises for meltdown moments and mini meditations for busy days. You'll be guided every step of the way by Headspace co-founder Andy Puttakambe, who spent 10 years training as a monk.
Yeah.
That's some pro experience for meditation. Guided exercises to help you add a touch of mindfulness to daily activities like cooking, commuting, eating, and more. You can start your journey towards a healthier, happier life by subscribing to Headspace. Sign up now at headspace.com/games to get a free month trial. Sign up online at headspace.com/games for a free month trial and start meditating today.
I've been trying that Headspace.
And how is it?
I really like it. I've been using the sleep stuff because I have a lot of problems like going to sleep, and they make it really easy of finding like what kind of like stuff that you would be in the mood for, of like guided meditation, and like if you want to like listen to like river sounds or like snowing or like raindrops. I like the raindrops, like where yeah, dude.
Raindrops.
So yeah, they make it really easy to find like what you need personally, and yeah,
cool.
I like it.
You can check it out at headspace.com/games. All right, now it's time for Reader Mail.
Reader Mail.
Julio Linares writes in and says, with the announcement of Microsoft expanding Xbox Live cross-platform and the possibility of Project xCloud being a part of that, do you think that Xbox games could then come to the Switch in whole or by stream? Also, what do you believe Sony's reaction will be? To jump on the Switch bandwagon or not? Joey Maloney also writes in and says, with the rumor of Xbox services coming to Nintendo and other devices, do you think Nintendo launched the Switch with a bare bones online infrastructure and no achievement/trophy system because this has been in the works for a while? Let's start there. No. Real talk. Nintendo going Nintendo. Yeah. Like that is not an excuse. They've
always
just a fact.
Gone to the beat of their own drum, so I don't think they really like mind too much about no achievement trophy system. The online infrastructure they might try to update, because I feel like early days of like 3DS store and all that stuff, like slowly, like not huge improvements, but they did like fine tuning here and there. And then with the Xbox Live thing, like I'm still trying to wrap my head around like what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
So I still need like time to really like think like how is that gonna, like I can understand like mobile stuff, but how does that work for something like Switch? You know,
poorly is going to be the answer. At least in the beginning, in terms of what it is, of it just being a app that you can look at for your like services and stuff on Xbox. It's not playing games. It's not any of that. It's just your stats.
That's what it's gonna be like. Just like, hey, all right, here's just like opening up
an app,
the website on right, like because right now you can go to Xbox website. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And look at your like score, or your
logging in.
Score,
yeah, but it's like logging into your PlayStation.
But like, what do you think the long-term goal is?
So here, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. Like taking a step back to Joey Maloney's thing here, the achievements and trophies, right? I wish Nintendo had them, but they don't care. They're not interested. I don't think we'll see it this generation at least. I expected that we were going to, but we're not. I've talked to a lot of Mr. Nintendos out there, and time again, we fuck with them, and we're just like, what's up with this? Like, where the hell are they? And they're super real, and they're just like, look, that stuff does not matter as much as you guys want to believe it does.
Yeah.
Like, we know the numbers, we see the thing, we have the data, and it's like, yes, there's hardcore groups. That's all they are, is hardcore groups.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, well, you should cater to the hardcore groups.
Exactly.
Come on, guys. But, so there's that reality, right? Nintendo did not put out its shitty ass online because they were waiting for Xbox to come in. If they did, they would have launched it with Xbox Live, right? What does this mean? Like, Kevin, you talking about like, why would they do this? I do think it's just like, why is Netflix on the Switch? It's the same thing of just like, why not, right?
I guess it's just weird because they're a competitor and they're limiting of what you can do on that app, right? It's just like, okay, you can look at your like, have access to basically what you can have access to like on the website or whatever. It's
or
just
on
like,
the apps. Like, it's just an app. Like, then that's my thing is right now, it's just an app. They're not limiting anything. It's just an app. It's the same stuff that you can do on your mobile phone.
With Netflix, Hulu, right? Hulu's on the Switch.
Yes.
With Hulu, you can watch it. Like, it has a purpose.
Yeah, you can actually
it's not
do
like you
stuff.
can just like set it. It would be like, okay, well, you can set up a queue. Like that would be like, all right, well, that's.
But I mean,
pointless.
It's the same. What's the point of the Xbox Live app on phones?
In general?
It's the same thing.
Well,
I just think it's weird
the exact
because it's
same
on
thing.
a competitor device and it doesn't really add
But mobile's
anything.
competitor too. It's like, the thing is, right now, I don't think this is weird. They're going to talk about it more at GDC.
Yeah.
And like, if xCloud gets involved, it's like there's a couple steps
of making it interesting.
This opens a door for conversation, right?
That's fair.
I think that's all that this is. I feel like we're all jumping ahead to like, these are crazy ideas of like Xbox games streaming on Switch and what that can mean. Do I think that it's possible with how Microsoft's been acting recently? I damn do.
That's
you
fair.
know, we'll see at GDC. We'll see what they have to say about what this could all mean. But I think that it's just a good sign that Xbox and Nintendo are working so well together.
Right.
I don't think it means much for PlayStation. They are definitely doing their own thing for now. Will that bite them in the ass next generation? We'll wait and see.
I think absolutely.
I really think that there is a really good chance that we get to next gen and Nintendo and Microsoft are playing really nice together.
They're like
Sony's
best
not.
friends.
And I think next gen, this is a bold thing. I'm putting it out now. Might be the first time we don't have a clear winner.
Interesting.
Because I think Sony's going to keep going down its path of, we got the best fucking games out there.
It's fair.
We're going to keep putting them out. Single player experiences. We're going hard. Play our games here. They're fucking great. I think Xbox is going to focus on its features and systems and cloud streaming and like all these like weird experimental stuff and Game Pass and relationship with other developers and stuff. And I feel like that's going to make them win in a different way. But I think it might be the first generation that they're both kind of seen as winning in different ways. And it will truly be a console war of preference where the real winners are the ones that have both.
I can dig it.
But we'll see. Matt Lubick writes in and says, hey, Kind of Funny Games Daily host. So I've been looking at getting an Elite controller for my PlayStation 4. They're on the more expensive side and have many more different options from the different companies Sony has partnered with. I'm worried that if I drop the cash to pick one up, it won't be compatible with the PS5 when it possibly comes out in the next few years. Should I pick it up now and enjoy it until the end of the PS4 lifespan, or wait and see when the PS5 comes out and hope that there will be a new Elite controller to buy in a few years?
I would say do the latter. If you've survived this long with just like a regular PS4 controller playing like whatever shooters or whatever that make you feel like you need an Elite controller, I would say just live out the rest of the generation with the PS4 controller, because I don't think you're going to see these generations of controllers be compatible with next gen, and then see what they've got going on next gen.
I think there's a chance that they are compatible with next gen.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see. It's not a for sure for me, but like I think there's a chance.
Has that ever happened before?
No, but I think next gen's
like,
going to be weird, man.
Yeah. And like controller stuff is all like always weird. Like I can technically like use my PS4 controller and plug it into a PS3 and like play some games on that. And
You could use a PS1 controller on PS2. That was a long time ago.
Wait, could you really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, like,
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing with this is I think we're far away from PS5, obviously. On top of that, a PS5 Elite controller, we're even farther away from. Really? So, like
When
they're not
did
going
the
to launch
Xbox One Elite controller come out? In comparison to when the Xbox
15, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even then, like the PS4 still hasn't seen an official one. There's
Right.
officially licensed
Yeah,
ones.
like
are
they say,
really
they're
nice.
partnered.
You know, we had, I forgot which one it was.
it was
Was the Astro one?
Yeah, Astro.
Yeah. And
Did
it's,
that ever come out?
I don't think it's out yet, but it was really nice when we got our hands on for it. So
It was super nice.
I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 3 and Resident Evil 2 with my Xbox One Elite controller, and these are the first games that I've played with it. It's awesome. I love the weight to it. I don't really need all the like
Back end stuff.
bend-angled stuff, so I just take them off.
I mean, I
But
just like
that's-
the regular Xbox One controller. The weight to it and like the way it fits into your hands. Awesome.
Yeah, the Elite controller though is fucking, it's nice. And if PlayStation can match that in any way, I don't know, man. If you play games enough that you are like, hey, this is worth it, especially because the DualShock 4 dies so fast.
Yeah.
Like
that's fair.
if you find a Elite controller that has better battery life, it's fucking worth it. Yeah. BlackJack says, what's up, guys? Hope you're well. Tim, on Friday, you spoke about all of the Kind of Funny products and how they perform on the various platforms. The one thing you didn't talk about directly was the Kind of Funny Game Showcase. How did it perform versus your expectations? Was it worth the massive amount of work that you all put into it? I certainly hope so. It was honestly the most well-polished and produced piece of content that Kind of Funny's ever made. Also, you've committed to doing another showcase this year. What lessons are you going to take from the first one? Keep up the great work. P.S. Tim, I'm a Patreon producer too. No love for you, boy. BlackJack, hit up Joey Noel about that, and we'll get it sorted out. I have a feeling that you might be a Patreon producer for next month because of the way that we do this. It's like if you pay for 1 month, you get the next month. So
we'll figure it out.
Hit her up. We'll see what's up. Kind of Funny Game Showcase was unequivocally a success for us in every single way that we wanted to be. It exceeded expectations, I would say. Was it worth the work we did? Yes, and that's crazy because it was a lot of work.
It was.
But I feel like we have a platform that is unique compared to a lot of other people similar to us. I keep saying this, but it's like, you know, we're not traditional press, but we're also not traditional influencers. We're somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And, you know, doing our up-and-comer program that we're doing the Kind of Funny Game Showcase, I feel like it's us giving back to the community in a way that they've given to us so much. Like, helping me get the Forbes 30 under 30, helping Greg get the Game Awards, Trending Gamer years ago. It's like every step we take together is kind of funny. Helping Kind of Funny Games Showcase be a success. Having developers believe in us to do it. It's like all of these things kind of grow together to create a cool platform that we get to practice what we preach.
Exactly.
And be transparent in the way that we always talk about wanting to see developers and wanting to see everyone else. And creating opportunities for people that might not be able to get them in the same way people have done for us, you know? So I think that's all really cool.
And it's a success in the sense of like making people talk about those games. You know, like the showcase happened when I was still at IGN, and there were conversations on like Beyond and other shows about like some of the games that you guys showed off and stuff.
Exactly. And to me, that was on Friday, I was talking about KPIs, key performance indicators. For us, the key performance indicator was not the views, was not the Twitch concurrence, although Twitch concurrence were a goal. That I had. I wanted to have more Twitch concurrence than we've ever had for anything we've done. Our previous record was the PlayStation E3 conference for 2015. Final Fantasy VII, Last Guardian, and Shenmue one. That's not right at all. No, it is right. It is right. It wasn't a watch along. It was our reactions afterwards, our post show reactions, where we had 21K. And for this, we had almost 25K or 25K. Yeah, it's one of the two. And so. Personally, that was just like a personal metric, and I was really happy about that. But for us as a team, and specifically me and Greg talking, our goal was getting indies games out there, and having a conversation. And like, honestly, it was like weird, dumb little things that were the goal that sounds stupid, but are very hard to achieve for people like us, which were have a thread on Reset Era. You know, that was a real goal. There was a real conversation there, and I feel like it kind of turned the tide on their perspective on Kind of Funny a lot, which was really cool because, you know, a lot of people just look at us as
bunch of goofballs,
or just like YouTube idiots, or Greg Miller's loud, or you know what I mean, or like Greg Miller from IGN, and like he's a Sony fucking fanboy and all this stuff. It's like, you know, this was a nice thing to show a different side to us, and like, also
we're adults
to show off our production skills. It's like we have a super talented, qualified team to kind of accomplish anything within the realm of what we're doing, and I think that the Kind of Funny Games Showcase definitely
really showed off,
definitely like performed and did what we wanted to do with it. And what are some lessons for the next one? I want it to be shorter. I feel like we wanted the first one to be long, you know, but I want to aim for like that 45 minutes max with this one. And I would love to have a bit more varied games, so it's not just indies. My goal for E3 this year is we're doing it at E3 is to show off games that are at E3 but no one ever hears about because they're not in one of the press conferences, right? You know, so THQ Nordic, hit us up. Like, I would love for that level, you know what I mean? But we'll see.
Cool. Why Not Pete's got a good one.
Yeah, let's go to Why Not Pete. 2014 is the last time Retro Studios released a new title with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Assuming that Metroid Prime 4 is at least a couple years away, do you think they will still release another title in the meantime, like Star Fox Racing, or will Nintendo give them all the time and resources they want to just focus on Metroid?
I think the fact that Retro is now working on Metroid Prime 4 tells me that whatever they've been working on since Donkey Kong is done. And like, if I think we'll probably hear about it at E3 this year for Nintendo's Direct or whatever. That's what I think. I don't know.
Hearing you say, I think we'll hear about Retro's new game at E3 this year, it just gives me deja vu to the past 5 years. Like, it is just, oh my God. It's
I don't know. I don't want it to be Star Fox Racing. Just
I do. Oh, I do.
Why?
So it sounds so good. It sounds like the one thing that could save Star Fox. Because remember, you can't just hear Star Fox Racing and then shut your mind off there. You need to remember everything else that they said about the game, of what it was, which sounds like a very arcadey game based on the qualities that make Star Fox good. It sounds like an adventure mode from Crash Team Racing or Diddy Kong Racing, which is excellent, mixed with the idea of speed and maneuvering around obstacles and shooting bad guys to go faster. It's not necessarily just a F-Zero type race.
That's fair.
So I'm super excited about that. But since 2013, like, we get Donkey Kong, right? And everybody like kind of grown together when they announced Tropical Freeze, because it was like when they announced Donkey Kong Country Returns in 2010 for the Wii, it was kind of exciting because it was like, oh, we haven't seen a Donkey Kong Country game in a
very long time.
Very long
since
time.
The Rare days.
Yeah, and Rare had made 3 Metroid Primes at that point, so it was like, oh, cool, let's get something different. But it was clear it was kind of like a stopgap thing, and ended up being a super quality game. Had some issues.
Retro.
Did I say Rare? Yeah, retro. And it had some issues, but it was great. And then years later, when they announced that the Wii U game was Tropical Freeze and not a Metroid game, everyone's like, no, like, oh my god, like the Wii U.
But then they come out with Tropical Freeze.
I get it, and that's the thing is like
one of the best Donkey Kong games,
one of the best 2D platformers of all time. But for the Wii U, that was a bad message. That showed that they're like, we're not going to promote Metroid for this. Like, no. So they did Tropical Freeze, which you're right, one of the best games ever. I fucking love it. But after that, it was a ticking time bomb of like, well, surely they were also working on Metroid Prime in the background. Sure, next E3, and it just kept going. And the fact that we got the Switch and we didn't get an announcement of what they've been working on when the Switch was first kind of shown off, it was like, that's weird. And then it was going to be like, it's going to be the blowout for retro. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, it's not. And it just keeps going that way. And to now here for the Star Fox Racing game to be rumored. Leaked is not correct because who the fuck knows? Although I have it on very good authority that game is very real. But I also have it on good authority that it is being scrapped.
Interesting.
Because it wasn't up to par or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. Those are I've heard that from 2 different people.
Yeah. 2 different Mr. Nintendos.
2 different Mr. Nintendos. So we'll see there. I don't know. I can go one of 2 ways because what you're saying could absolutely be it. This game's ready. They're ready to just like kind of put it out there this year, go from there.
Because it would be an interesting like late summer game. You know?
I'd love that.
Yeah.
But then there's another side of like, nah, everything they've been working on the past couple of years is just not up to par. We've heard a lot of issues going on at Retro of the teams being split and all this stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see.
So secretive.
But the last question I want to read is from Remi. Since we didn't get a January Direct from Nintendo and there are rumors of a Switch remodel, what do you think the chances are for a Switch Mini? A more powerful Switch or both? I was going to get a Switch for Smash, but the rumors made me wait. We're definitely getting a Switch Mini. That is for sure in my mind. I think we'll get it this year. I imagine towards the end of the year. A more powerful Switch I think we'll also get, but I don't think that'll be until next year, maybe the year after that. He said, I was going to wait for a Switch for Smash. I was going to get a Switch for Smash, but the rumors made me wait. If I were you, I would get...
I'll just get the regular Switch. Yeah. I wouldn't wait for a Switch Mini for
neither.
Smash. Especially
I would wait for a Switch XL.
If a Switch Mini is like what you've talked about of like just the Joy-Cons are just stuck on.
I imagine it's like a Vita.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, maybe like a more powerful Switch, but I don't know if that comes out this year.
Yeah, I don't think that's this year. I think that will be
just get a
later.
Switch. Just do
but
it.
the thing that's interesting to me here is that since we didn't get a January Direct from Nintendo, that's something I haven't been able to talk about. We did not get a January Direct. We're so used to getting those that are kind of like showing like where's Nintendo at for the year. There's a lot of question marks right now that we have for games. Like Nintendo acted very bizarrely last month with the way that they just randomly announced the Metroid Prime delay and giving it to Retro. Them just dropping Yoshi's Crafted World release date in a tweet. You know,
hell yeah.
Like
What's going on,
that's direct news, right? Like why would they do that? And there was a couple other things in that vein, but there's still a lot of questions. Fire Emblem Three Houses is still supposed to be spring.
Interesting.
We got to hear about that soon somewhere, right? If we're going to hear about this retro game, if it's real and if it's done or close to being done, you imagine we got to hear about it before E3, I think.
Okay.
Right? Like,
I don't know.
I
don't pretend to like understand what Nintendo does and what they do. Because they're crazy, and they're now in a weird position where they're changing what they do. public facing at least. So yeah,
they I forgot where I saw this, but it was one of the Nintendo like top guys in the last week said it wasn't Reggie, it was on the Japanese side.
Gotcha.
They said that I think it was in one of the financial reports that Nintendo is going it's going to hit all of its release dates. That everything that they've announced for this year it's going to happen, with the exception of the delays they've already made.
Right.
So
we'll see.
We will see. It's time to squad up. Nathan Choquette writes in. He's on PSN. His name is LightningHatNH. Because Apex Legends is awesome, plus there's a sweet 5% bonus to XP if you play with friends, and it would be great to have some kind of funny best friends to coordinate with for those sweet wins in order to become an Apex Legend. Team up with him, squad up with him. LightningHatNH. Now it's time for You're Wrong. What did we get wrong today? Man, I was so happy because I looked at it and it was empty,
nothing.
and then I scrolled up. Then there's a lot. Okay.
What we got today?
Oh, there's a lot. Let me have to scroll through this to get rid of the editorializing.
Good old pregnant pause.
Good old pregnant pause.
Anything good?
No, not yet.
Too much editorializing.
Pulley G2 says, Nomura says there is no final mix for Kingdom Hearts 3 planned, but there is potentially DLC. Interesting.
We'll see.
Because I've heard the exact opposite.
Yeah. I've been playing some Kingdom Hearts 3. Started it last night.
Then Nanobiologist writes in and says, with regards to kind of Kingdom Hearts DLC, Nomura stated during an interview with Famitsu on January 24th that he doesn't want to focus on making DLC for a long time. Instead, he wants to prioritize the next work/entry, what comes next for the Kingdom Hearts series. As for Kingdom Hearts 3 after launch, they're considering one big paid DLC and smaller free content. All right, we'll see. A lot of people correcting me on the Tomb Raider stuff that we already corrected on.
I kept Tim honest. I kept Tim honest.
Yeah, to
Don't
do
worry.
it.
Dude, it's so cold over here.
Yeah?
I'm freezing.
You want me to go over there and cuddle you, Kevin?
No.
I'll cuddle you really good.
No.
Wrap my big old arms around you. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Rub your belly.
Stop it, Nick.
The nanobiologist writes in and says, Greg was not in Lego Marvel Superheroes, so you were right. Barrett, keeping me honest once again. He was Aldrich Killian in Avengers and Howard the Duck / Iron Duck in Superheroes 2.
Iron Duck. That's awesome.
Zabu has the deals of the day. Twitch Prime's giving away the base Final Fantasy 14 game today for 30 days free.
Ooh. Oh, also PS Plus games are up today. One of them is Hitman Season 1. Ooh. And I've not played it, and I'm really interested in checking that out. So a lot of people are liking Hitman 2. So I want to check out Hitman 1 first.
The Astro PS4 controller is scheduled to come out in March, says Lord of Pwn. Thank you very much. You guys are amazing. This has been a very fun episode of Kind of Funny.
Dive Kick too.
Kind of Funny Games Daily.
For the Vita.
Tomorrow, it's me and Gary Whitta.
Yeah,
oh, it's been a while.
Wednesday.
Been a while. Until then, I love you. Thanks, Kevin. Oh my God.